Enough. Enough with the cookie talk. It is time to talk about artificial intelligence. Where the cookie was the publishing industry's past, artificial intelligence is its future.
Okay, clearly we did not have an AI robot take the stage during the September 2023 edition of the Digiday Publishing Summit. But the publishers in attendance did talk a fair amount about generative artificial intelligence offstage, and asked some of the publishers who spoke at the event where they're at on the technology, including specifics on how they're incorporating generative AI into their workflows. Blair Tapper from The Independent kind of summed up the nuanced consensus among publishers' stances.
When I first started thinking about it, I was like, whoa, that's bad, editorially. And we're really firm in the value of our editorial proposition. But I think AI can offer so many other solutions from a business and from an efficiency standpoint. And when we can sort of explore how our business can move more effectively, reduce clutter, and sort of just help bring a smoother UX to consumers, I think it's something that, our team's really actively exploring. And I think it's going to be probably what we are all talking about next year.
For the most part, and pretty much everyone I talked to included the caveat that they're still wrapping their heads around what hand generative AI should play in their businesses, so keeping that in mind, publishers' focus for the moment seems to be on how AI can make people's jobs easier as opposed to take people's jobs away.
You're thinking about using it as an efficiency sort of workflow, so thinking about CMS integrations, tooling, effectively how we can make our sort of production more efficient, certainly not replacing journalists with robots. That is not our aim, but how can we actually use it to be more productive, if you will, and use our brains for more creative activities, and think about how it can really help us and really in our system workflow implementation, a lot of CMS integration, that kind of thing.
Can it help my sales team from prospecting, from maybe doing better outreach on the editing side or the creative side? Can it be helping us with doing faster and better creative? So I think we're looking at how it can help improve us versus how it can just help take over.
We certainly think about AI from the point of view of augmentation. How can it make some of our internal processes easier? How can it cut corners or eliminate tasks that editors find boring and cumbersome?
Execs at the New York Post and Warner Bros. Discovery's HGTV laid out some specific use cases for AI easing folks' workloads, albeit with a bit of human handholding.
In the data space, that's where I see the most opportunity. We have data analysts today that have a really manual process of developing the insights, reading the data, analyzing and pushing it out to the business. That to me, if AI and ML can do its magic against the data that we have, summarize, send it out to the business, and then QA from the analysts, so that then they can become higher level resources and really work on the more important data points to grow and diversify our business.
We're getting pretty close with a plugin for WordPress to come up with alt text for images automatically, something that, we have so many images on our articles. We can have an article with 5, 6, 7 different images. You multiply that by 300 or so articles a day, and I'm not saying they all have that same density, but you can see it creates a huge amount of extra work for something that if I'm trying to publish an article, I've got 50 things I need to worry about to get that article up.
I am still thinking around what that would look like for us. I think there's a lot of opportunity around just metadata for photos and images and the stuff we ingest into our site, or using it for tagging videos and so forth. I don't know about for copy and content. I think that's something I'd still feel more comfortable having a human touch, even if we use it for ideation. So we haven't really gone full bore into anything AI related yet.
Like Rashida implied, publishers are justifiably hesitant about embracing generative AI because of its potential downsides, which were a big topic of discussion behind closed doors during DPS's town hall session.
We've got to start blocking it. We've got to get serious about this regulation or whatever. It won't go well for us. We've got to fight back because our future can just easily be wiped out with some code. AI is only going to get better. Make no mistake, I'm convinced it will upend everything that we do. You may no longer need illustrators, graphic designers, developers. We're probably going to lose traffic as people go to ChatGPT or whatever and type in a question that they would Google, and then you don't get the traffic from a link. It seems like a double whammy, where you lose the traffic and you lose being the trusted source of information. One thing that I'm contemplating is this just allows for a plethora of content out there for those made for advertising sites. I worry that it makes it so easy for people to just throw content out there, and that is something we're all going to be competing against.
Having to compete with generative AI seems to be publishers' biggest overarching concern, and for good reason. Generative AI has proven fairly adept at creating content. Okay, it's not great by any stretch, but it's competent. And creating content is the core of publishers' businesses and their biggest differentiators. So probably not surprising to hear that it's where publishers, at least these publishers, seem to be drawing the line when it comes to adopting AI at the moment.
We will never be producing audience-first content specifically using AI in its entirety.
We're very cautious about ever thinking about how artificial intelligence could interrupt the quality of what our editors are curating and creating.
It's not about replacing what our journalists are doing. It's about finding effective ways where we can use AI as a tool to help support already what our journalists are creating.
I don't think you'll see us come out. I know you won't see us come out with like, hey, these articles were AI written, but I think you'll see us, using AI to be a powerful tool to help us be more efficient and be more quick as a publisher.
When we think about AI, we're really thinking about all of the, it's more about the internal work that it can help us eliminate rather than like outsourcing the sort of meat of our jobs.